Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is reading catch up April week 1, and I'm going to say sunshine is here. That'll be the extra bit. I'm going to remember to put the extra bit on the end because it is. The sunshine is well and truly here. I have been out in the sun a lot when I've not been doing housework or busy with all the mummy jobs that I'm doing. This has been the last week before the kids break up for 2.5 weeks. So be prepared for the madness of the next few weeks. I don't know where I'll be filming. I don't know what will be happening. I'll be busy with the kids, but that's life bits. We'll fill that in. Thank you all so much for your lovely comments after last week's video. It really helped my mood, and you are all absolutely amazing. I have been practicing a lot of self-care over the last week. Actually, that'll be the time. Self-care week. Yeah, self-care week. There you go. Because I have been practicing a lot of self-care. And I'll fill you in on those bits when I show you the books. But yeah, I just wanted to say a massive thank you before I show you books, before I do everything else. Thank you all for your support about the fact that I'm not showing my figures, about the fact I'm being a bit gentle on myself. And I'll explain a bit more. Yes, but thank you. All right, so currently reading, actually I've not done this in order. Today I'm filming this obviously the day before, so this filmed on the 3rd. I'm starting The Warden by Anthony Trollope, which is my reread. It's a short but sweet book. I'm aiming to get I think my plan is, because I've got my second book of the month, of the day, that I'm I always have 2 books plus my buddy read and my classic. So this one I'm going to read a big chunk of it, and then I'm going to leave a little bit to take to work with me. So I'll probably read about just over 100 pages today, and then I'll take the rest to work tomorrow. Probably about 150 pages, and then take the rest to read when I'm at work, because it's a nice small size. So I'll be finishing this tomorrow. But I also want to read it a bit slower because it's a reread, and I want to see how much more I get out of it. But I did love The Warden. I've had this. This is a reread, but it doesn't count my rereads because the first time I read The Warden, I read it at the library. I used it from my library book. So just looking forward to cracking on with this. I know this is Anthony Trollope's one of my favourite books, and I can't wait just to crack on and read that. But today is a bit of a manic. It's manic in the morning. It'll be quieter in the afternoon. And then I'm reading my buddy read with the lovely Cat from Brews and Reviews. I'm reading Like a Curse with her, and this will be finished at some point. This will be finished next week. For me, this is a sequel to Like a Charm, and obviously I can't give too much away, but it's about Ramya, and Ramya is a witch. And we've got stuff happening with sirens and things like that, and it's all set in Scotland, and it's an amazing book. One of the things that I wanted to share with you before I carry on is that the protagonist of this book has been diagnosed with dyspraxia, which is formerly known as developmental coordination disorder. You don't need to know that. And it affects motor skills and processing. And apparently Elma Nicol, his own voice is, so she was diagnosed at the age of 9. And it makes her handwriting messy, but like Ramya, no one has been allowed to tell me what I can and can't do. I may not have been formally diagnosed with dyspraxia, but we're pretty darn sure I have it, because you see my handwriting, it's blooming awful. And there's a lot of her symptoms are ones that I relate to. So for me, obviously this is a book to recommend for the spoonies, but for me, every time I'm reading, the more I've learnt about dyspraxia, the more I'm empathising with the characters, and for me that bit of it's just giving me the extra bonus. I bloody love this book. It is just already, I know it's going to be a 5-star. It's an incredible book, and so glad I'm reading it. I'm gradually reading my TBR jar pick of the complete short stories by Charles Dickens. They're not all bad, actually. Some of them have actually been quite good. I'm kind of like trying to read like a book a day, a short story a day, because they're very short. So some of them are not too bad. I'll read that. That's my plan for this morning. And then the book I started last night was for the prompt of Katie's prompt of biggest book on your TBR, and because you can see it's like nearly 600 pages. So I'm kind of reading shorter. I have like my plan. Always my plan for reading is I read like a non-fiction or a historical fiction during the day, and I read a contemporary in the evening. But this, so I'm kind of reading my shorter historical fiction-y books alongside my shorter other books alongside this big one, so I can read them a bit quicker. But basically I love this. It is the third in the series, so it's about Lucian Rollins, who appears in the other first two books in this series. But yeah, he appears in the first two books, and it's also about Sloane Walton. And it's romance, it's fun. Trust me, when I read my pages for the Warden, I cannot wait to get to this. I only started it last night, and I already read it over 100 pages, so I'll be cracking on with that for the rest of the day, and that will be my big plan. So now I'm going to show you the books I've read over the last week. Some of them are April, some of them are March, and I will tell you which ones are March, because most of them are in April, and then I'll show you. So I only have one 3-star, so I ended the month really well. You would have seen my stats, I put it on my community post, but it's the Door-to-Door Bookshop by Carsten Henn, and it's a signed copy, it's translated fiction, and Charlie rated it 2.5 stars. I only rated it 2 stars. I only rated 3 stars as well, which is kind of my version of that. Just not for me. They say that books find their own readers, but sometimes they need someone to show them why. It was an alright book, but not one that jumped out at me. Doesn't even deserve much. It doesn't deserve. It just, there's no point talking much about it because it didn't stick in my brain. It's going straight to the charity shop. I'm not even letting that mum read it because I don't think she would love it. Then so I've got like 4 stars, one of which was read in April. Like one of it I've just read, and then the other 3 are March ones. So this was March, and this was Sunset Over Cherry Orchard by Jo Thomas. I read this on Mother's Day because it was a sunny day and I wanted a sunny book, and I flew through it. It was very much of a contemporary, just an average kind of 4 stars, chilled, sunshiny book about a lovely lead character called Betty, who after 3 failed engagement wants a fresh start in Spain. I did kind of guess some of the twists. You can see the romance coming, but it's a lovely summary Jo Thomas romance. Nothing more needs to be said. The male protagonists are good. It's about family, it's about the image we portray, and I love the fact that this character grows over the course of the book, and it was set in a hot place, and right now it's really lovely, so touch wood. Continues. Then I also read, no, I don't know if I read that on Mother's Day actually. No, I think I read that a different day. I may have read that on another day. I can't remember. I may have read that on Monday. Because I did read this one on Mother's Day. Sorry, my brain is not in gear. The Little Penguin Bookshop by Joanna Toy. I think this might be part of a series, but I've got so many historical fiction books set in World War II that this was good, and it's about the Little Penguin classics, but it wasn't about as much about the books as I wanted it to be. But it is set in 1939, and it's about this young girl, Carrie Anderson, who sets up a Little Penguin bookshop at one of the tube stations and one of the train stations. And there's a romance, and there's the war, and people, things happen. But it was a good wartime book, short and sweet. It was easy to fly through on Mother's Day. It was literally just over 300 pages. I think I might have battered the spine slightly, but it is one that Mum's going to love actually. Mum's going to really love that. So those 2, her stack's getting bigger this month. Then to my last of my 3 stars that I did actually read this partly on Mother's Day, but I read a bit of it before that because it was quite a big book. So I sort of started it a bit earlier because it was one of my bigger ones. And it was by Joanna Glenn, and it is about mothers, but it's not really as much as I wanted it to be. I think for me, not quite as much. And it's about Eva Martinez Green, who was an only child full of questions about her beginnings, absent mothers, absent parents, and it was about what a mother really is, kind of, but it's interesting. It's a bit of a weird one. It's more literary, I believe, than it is contemporary. I'm not sure if Mum, I'm going to give Mum Mum to have a go. I can't remember if Charlie wants to read it or not, but it spans decades, this book. It's set over quite a long period of time. It is a good contemporary, but it was more literary than contemporary, so I don't quite know how that would match in my reading. I'm more like commercial. I think it's commercial fiction that Katie calls it, rather than literary. So it's alright, just not quite as amazing as I wanted. Then I've got 3 4.5 stars. I did read a lot because I actually had the weekend off, and even though I did other things, I had the weekend off, so I did read quite a bit. Hence why my numbers are quite a lot. Yeah, somehow over the last week I've read 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I read 9 books over the last week. One of these is a picture book though, so that's kind of 8 books, but that's bloody loads. How the hell have I done that? Okay, last week I said about cutting back, slowing down my reading. And what have I done? I've read 9 in a week. Okay, it is what it is. I'm not going to beat them. I enjoyed these. You can see how many they were 5 good stars. 3 4.5 stars. That's got to be good. This is the Bookbinder of Jericho by Pip Williams. I agree with Katie. It's not quite as good as the Dictionary of Lost Words by the same author, but I did enjoy it. I think a bit more than Katie did. When the men would leave for the Western Front, Peggy and her friends must shoulder the burden at home. As she moves between the bookbindery where she works and the narrow boat full of memories, Peggy's dreams of escaping for a new life feel even more remote. But war brings them together in unexpected ways, new friends and things like that. This was a really good book. It's really does talk a lot about the World War One, but it does have disability rec in it, and I think that was done quite subtly. It's not labelled because obviously the era it was set in, it's not labelled as disability rec, but it is done quite well, and it does talk about romance. It is good. Pip Williams' writing is brilliant. I loved it, and I did enjoy that. But I'm looking forward to going back and rereading the Dictionary of Lost Words, because this kind of has got me in the mood for that. So it's a very good book, but not quite as good as the Dictionary of Lost Words. Yes, that's another one for Mum. The next one is totally and utterly not a Mum book. But this one is my book for Charlie's Book for Bowel Cancer Readathon, and this is for the prompt with a book less than 400 pages. It would also work for red on the front cover, but I wanted it to go for the one less than 300 pages. This is my April book, and I finished it yesterday, and it has amazing disability rep in the fact that it straight away talks about the fact that, no spoilers, the author is Own Voices, reminds me, and it talks about, it has a neurodivergent autistic lead character in it. So this again could be read for spoonies, but I had to read the second book of the series for spoonies, so that's a sneaky peek for the series. But I'm going to read the whole series because this is absolutely incredible. The character talks about, it also tackles anxiety, its Own Voices. So if you want to, I would definitely recommend this for the Spoonies Readathon. It was great to read for Charlie's one because it is less than 400 pages. It's kind of like 317. It's a bit of a saucy romance. It is Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right. So it's enemies to lovers. It's fake dating trope. It's fake dating trope, sorry. But it was done really well. It's 4.5 stars because it can't quite be 5 stars because of, I don't know. It's bloody high. I loved it. It really did. It's kind of, part of me wants to make it 5 stars. I really don't know. I rated it 4.5, but a part of me wants to rate it 5 because I bloody loved it. It was a really, really good romance. And I'm not just talking about because of the neurodivergent lead character and the other character with anxiety. It was just done, and it's sisters as well, and oh my goodness, bloody loved it. Saucy bit, so Mum can't have it. I'm keeping this. It is absolutely incredible, and Kat got me that for Christmas, and she smashed it. She knows me too well. I'm going to read all the books that this author writes. Amazing characters, absolutely loved it. Then to a book that Thomas got me to read because he read this at school, and Mum's going to want this one as well. So Mum's stack's just grown quite big. And this is The Secrets of the Sun King by Emma Carroll. It's a middle grade historical fiction. It is smashed it out of the park. It is absolutely incredible. I thoroughly loved it. It is set obviously in London. It's set in London in 1922 as well, but you do get a sneaky peek go to Egypt, and it's about the things coming out from the tombs in Egypt, and it does link in with the story that's actually a true story about what happened over there in that time, and about a mysterious package that's holding a key, and about curses and things like that. And the lead character Lil is just a really strong middle grade lead character. It's a fun book, 4.5 stars. I read this obviously in April. Thomas was right. He knew I would love this, and he really, really did. So, really good fun. But I'd say this is more 4 to 4.5 stars because I am a bit too old for it, but I absolutely loved it. And then to my 5-star book, I'm not going to go on too much about this. Oh, actually, I've got one more 4 stars. So I had to put that there. And this is my book that I told you I'm reading a different book a week for the Picture This Readathon, which is hosted by Shelley and the lovely Jack. And this is I Was Made For You by David Lucas. And it's for the prompt with a book with a cat. And yeah, it was... Oh. I'm glad I'm reading one a week of these because actually I'd forgotten how sweet middle grade, like I've forgotten how sweet picture books are and how much they are like literally a hug in a book. I really, really enjoyed this. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for... I'm so glad I'm reading these, and they don't take much time out of my books. They are going on my numbers because I'm reading them. They don't take much time out of my sort of reading time to do it, but they're just what I needed. So actually, thank you, Jack and Shelley, because I'm really enjoying reading picture books. Can't wait to read the next one. I've got to decide which one the next ones I'm reading. And then lastly, my book from Tandem. It was, and I'm not just rating it 5 stars because it was a Tandem book and had PR product. I'm rating it 5 stars because I bloody loved it. It is strong, it's fancy, it's 5 stars. I've got a review on Instagram, and you have to read this book. It's the start of a series. I'm going to be getting the next one. There is talk that Tandem might do the next one as a read along, but I may just order it anyway and buy it because I just bloody love this. It's fantasy. It's about like ruling to survive. It's female. It's friendship. It's sisterhood. It's just got all of the fun bits I bloody loved. And yes, why am I not, everyone's not surprised? Fantasy is my favourite. But yeah, that's not for Mum either. I am actually keeping this because I'm gonna. Yeah, I may put this to one side because I think I may be letting. I've got a couple of friends of mine that I want that book to go around the group of my friendship group of mine. But so what have I been up to this week? A little catch up bit. So firstly, I went to a town near us with my sister Vicky, Reading. Not been there for a long time, to get a new coat. Coat was a bit smaller than I was expecting I needed it to be. I didn't realise. I've been beating myself up about the way I look, and part of the problem with the perimenopause and my anxiety is I don't see what everyone else sees, and this trip with Vicky really boosted me up. One of the things we're doing at the moment is self-care. One of the things obviously I've been talking about is self-care, and that's one of the big problems of today's video is that with me, my anxiety and the perimenopause kicking my butt, time with Vicky was just what I needed. I've got both of my sisters are absolutely incredible, but we had such a good time. Bought a t-shirt, bought a new coat, that was the whole point. But I did find a baseball cap because, as you can well tell, I've been getting sunburn. I treated myself to some lovely summer pumps, which hopefully they'll be alright on me because that heel's not amazing. But I treated myself to that. I only bought 2 books because, like I said, I'm trying to cut back down my numbers. So that was fun. Had Mother's Day at Vicky's. That was fun. That was incredible. She did a great meal. We had Chris bought me a massive box of chocolates, and I'm being really good. I'm having like a few a night because, and the kids bought me cards. You know, it was a lovely, sweet day, and actually I had a few hours off without them, which was really nice. So that was really good. And then I went to help Mum out Monday, and I've done stuff with my mum to help my mum out around the house. Went to town on Tuesday because it was Thomas's birthday next Monday on 7th, so I had to get a lot. Overdid it completely. Had a mini meltdown because I had too much to do. I had like 10 presents for his 10th birthday to get, and it was just stressful. Did go to the library, got my picture list books, which you'll see. Won't go into the details of these books because yeah, you're going to see them as I read them. But I've got 2 library books. I've got one, The Orphan Secret Library by Glynis Peters. It's got the word library, set in World War II. Just looks good. And then I got a book that I had Danny and a few other people raving about, and it's actually on the BookTube prize books. And this is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. Danny loved it, especially. I know the others loved it, but the fact that Danny loved it means I know I'm going to. So I'm going to read that. And I did buy myself a couple of like little pan of chocolat, so I'm going to put some pictures at the end of this video today. But it's been like, when I've not been rushing around, I've been sitting in the garden reading, and that has been the key point of this week, is when I have had the chance to stop, I am sitting and enjoying it. And I've been enjoying the flowers and the sunshine. I'm not going to do a sunshine emoji, but yeah, I've been enjoying looking at the flowers that are out and about at the moment. So if you got to the end of this video, leave me any of the flower emojis. What have you been reading this week? What have you been up to? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, then my diggly, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.